Once upon a time in 1846, long before smartwatches, AI, and even Omega, a man named Edwin Fear set up a small watchmaking workshop in the heart of Bristol, England. He didn't know this back then, but he was actually starting one of Britain's oldest watch companies, Fears, a name that would tick on and off and then back on again through the centuries. I'm the Timist. Let's talk about Fears and the Brunswick 38 champagne. For over 100 years, Fears built a reputation for elegant and reliable timepieces, adorning the wrists of the stylish and sophisticated. But like all good stories, this one had a plot twist. By the 1970s, the watch world was shaken by the quartz crisis, and Fears, like many traditional watchmakers, had to close its doors in 1976, marking the end of an era, or so it seemed. Fast forward 40 years. A young man named Nicholas Bowman Scargill, the great-great-great-grandson of Edwin Fear, discovered his family's lost legacy and decided to bring Fears back to life. So in 2016, he resurrected the brand, blending its rich British heritage with modern craftsmanship. Today, Fears watches like this Brunswick draw inspiration from the brand's esteemed history. This includes the vintage 1924 cushion case design, which actually predates Panerai use of the similar case shape. Okay, now that we know a bit more about Fears as a company and how the can-do underdog spirit of Nicholas and so many others brought the brand back to life, I can't help but form my own inner canon of sorts. Although not confirmed by Nicholas or really anyone at Fears, I'd like to imagine that this champagne dial is, in a way, a reserved victory that celebrates the revival of the brand and its legacy that was established so very long ago by Edwin Fear. I'm also imagining Edwin would raise a glass of champagne himself and give a respectful nod to the team from Bristol. So let's honor that legacy and take a closer look and explore this Fears Brunswick 38. The case is crafted from stainless steel and, as the name would suggest, comes in at 38mm, featuring both polished and brushed finishes, complemented by a polished and signed onion crown. The lug-to-lug comes in at 43mm, and the lug width is a pleasant 20mm, which is nice for those of us that have an ever-growing watch strap collection. As far as thickness goes, it's just shy of 12mm. Fully linked up on the bracelet, it weighs in at 128 grams. Now, moving on to the main attraction, the dial. But before you take in the rich hue of golden goodness achieved by layering real 18-karat yellow gold, you'll have to peer through the domed sapphire crystal, which is easy to do because, well, it's AR treated on both sides. The warm tone contrasts very nicely against the silver case, but what makes it stand out even more is the manner in which Fears achieved the almost frosted-like appearance, which, in the right light, can give off a slight sparkle every now and then. And that is thanks to the bead-blasted finishing technique that they used. Very cool. Now, take all of that and add some high-end furniture in the form of hand-applied numerals, all of which are actually milled from a solid block of brass and then diamond polished and coated in black gold. Now, I don't even know what black gold is, but that doesn't matter because I want all my stuff coated in this finishing. It really does reward anyone who's willing to bust out a loop and take a closer look. Just a slight detour, but did you know Fears has its own font? Yeah, it's true. They created their own custom typeface and named it after the founder, Edwin, which is just so cool and another great example of how the brand respects and honors its roots. Now, as far as the hands go, they're skeletonized and PVD coated in this peculiar color that beautifully dances between black and many different shades of blue. It's quite something, and again, rewards you if you only take the time to take a closer look. Of course, we can't forget about the sunken sub-seconds register at 6 o'clock. It's the singular element that tells you in an instant that the heart of this golden Bristolian is alive and ticking. No, I did not make up that word. People from Bristol are known as Bristolians, I promise. Speaking of ticking hearts, the movement is powered by a Swiss-made top-grade manual winding ETA 7001 that is lovingly finished by hand in Britain. As you can see, this piece comes with the sapphire open caseback, which is an option. And I, for one, am always a sucker for seeing the internals of, well, anything mechanical. As far as water resistance goes, it's rated for 100 meters, with the crown being a push-pull setup. Okay, last but definitely not least, let's focus a bit on the hardware, specifically the brushed and polished 5-link stainless steel bracelet. It's set up with a quick release system, which is always appreciated, but it also features some micro adjustability thanks to the 8mm and 6mm links provided, so finding the perfect balance should be relatively easy for you. Holding it all in place is the trigger release butterfly style clasp, which is actually very thoughtfully decorated via enamel with the Bristol flower, a very nice touch. All in all, this exact configuration, meaning that it's on the bracelet and has the open case back, comes up to $3,700 excluding VAT. Having spent the last couple of weeks wearing this watch, it's hard not to fall for its golden charm. There's so much attention and care poured into so many aspects that make up this watch. But what actually makes a Fears watch special? Well, beyond the custom font and the cushion case, beyond the golden glow of the dial and the shine of those black gold applied numerals, even beyond the little nods to Bristol and the hand finishing of the movement, what makes a Fears watch special is its story. Wearing a Fears watch, whether it's this Brunswick 38 Champagne or really any other of its brethren, means that you're not just wearing a well-made watch that was assembled with care and love and dedication to the craft. You're actually carrying on a legacy of watchmaking wrapped up in the ultimate comeback story that is neatly affixed to your wrist. Fears and Bristol are inseparable, and you can feel the passion and the pride that's been poured into every square millimeter of this watch and into the company as a whole. A company that literally disappeared for 4 decades, only to be revived by its founder's descendant, Nicholas himself. So when you wear a Fears, it's not just a simple watch. It's actually 6 generations of a watchmaking family doing their absolute best to shine as bright as possible, from Bristol to the world. I've bonded with this watch, and if it's not clear already, I'm a big fan. What Fears is and what they stand for personally really resonates with me. Are there other watch options from other brands at this price point? Absolutely. And it's all subjective as to what we as individuals choose to focus on. At the end of the day, these little marvels are not needs, but wants. And I, for one, am a romantic, and I absolutely love a great comeback story. So if you ever have the chance to try on a Fears timepiece, or better yet, go to an event where Nicholas himself is in attendance, I'd jump at that opportunity. And then come back here and tell me what you think. A big thank you goes out to Nicholas and Lorians from Fears for allowing me to make some beautiful memories with this watch. I'm the Timist. Thanks for watching. I really do hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, then please do me a favor and give this video a like. Consider subscribing for more content like this. And as always, if you have any questions or thoughts you want to share, drop them in the comments below. Be well, and I'll see you in the next one.